The price of your weekly shop has not gone back to where it was. And if you are being honest with yourself, you already know it is not going to. Because that is not how this works. Prices go up fast and they come down slow if they come down at all. And every time there is another fuel spike, another supply wobble, another headline about inflation or energy or shipping disruption, the pressure lands right back on the same place. Your kitchen, your fridge, your cupboard, your family's weekly food budget. And the people who feel that pressure the least are not the ones earning the most. They are the ones who built a quiet buffer of the right foods at the right time before the next wave hit. That is what this video is about. Before we get into it, subscribe if you want calm, practical UK preparedness, and comment below what your weekly food shop is actually costing you right now. I want to see the real numbers, because I think a lot of people would be shocked at how much it has crept up without them fully noticing. Now let me be clear about what this list is and what it is not. This is not some fantasy survival food list full of things you would never normally eat. I am not going to tell you to buy freeze-dried meals or military ration packs or 20 tins of something your family will refuse to touch. That is wasted money pretending to be preparation. What I am going to give you is 15 foods that tick every box that actually matters for a normal British household. They are affordable right now, they last a long time without fuss. They are foods your family will genuinely eat. They give you real nutritional value, not just empty calories. They are available in every supermarket in Britain today. And crucially, they are the foods that get hit hardest and fastest when prices start climbing again. Because food inflation in the UK does not land evenly. It hits some items much harder than others, and the pattern is always the same. The staples that everyone relies on are the ones that spike first, because demand is constant and supply is fragile. So if you buy them now at today's prices and rotate them through your normal cooking, you are not hoarding. You are just shopping smarter than most people. Let us get into it. 1. Rice. There is a reason rice is the backbone of half the world's diet. It is cheap, it is dense, it is versatile, and stored properly in a cool, dry place, it lasts for years. Not months, years. White rice outlasts brown rice for storage, so if longevity is your priority, go white. A kilogram of rice right now costs you next to nothing and gives your household multiple meals. But rice is also one of the first items to spike when global supply chains wobble, because so much of it is imported and transport costs feed directly into shelf price. Buy an extra bag every shop. Rotate it through your normal meals. Curry, stir fry, rice pudding, fried rice, chili. It goes with almost everything. The mistake is buying a massive sack and leaving it open in a damp cupboard. Keep it sealed. Keep it dry. Keep it somewhere cool. That is the whole system. 2. Pasta. Same logic as rice, but with even more versatility for British kitchens. Pasta is the ultimate recession food because it is cheap to buy, easy to cook, loved by children, and it stretches a small amount of sauce or protein into a full meal. Dried pasta in an unopened packet lasts 2 years easily, and when food prices spike, pasta is one of the first things people reach for, which means it is also one of the first things to thin out on shelves. Keep 5 or 6 extra bags in the cupboard and rotate through them. Spaghetti, penne, fusilli, whatever your household eats. It costs you pennies now and it could save you pounds later. 3. Oats. Porridge oats are one of the most underrated recession foods in Britain. They are incredibly cheap, incredibly filling, incredibly nutritious, and they last a long time stored properly. But oats are not just breakfast. You can use them in baking, in smoothies, in flapjacks, as a crumble topping, as a thickener in soups and stews. A big bag of porridge oats right now costs less than a fancy coffee. And in a cost crunch, a bowl of porridge with a bit of honey or jam is one of the most cost-effective meals you can put in front of your family. Buy an extra bag, keep it sealed, rotate it, done. 4. Tinned tomatoes. This is the foundation of more budget meals than people realize. Pasta sauces, curries, stews, soups, chili, shakshuka, casseroles, the list is enormous. Tinned tomatoes are cheap, they last for at least 2 years on the shelf, and they turn basic ingredients into actual meals. Without tinned tomatoes, half of budget British cooking falls apart. And because they are heavy and largely imported, they are directly exposed to transport cost inflation. When fuel goes up, tinned tomatoes follow. Buy a few extra tins every shop, stack them, use them, replace them. This is one of the easiest wins on the entire list. 5. Tinned beans and pulses. Baked beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, butter beans. All of them. Cheap protein, long shelf life, enormous versatility. Beans on toast is practically a national emergency meal in Britain, and there is a reason for that. It works. It is hot, filling, fast, and costs almost nothing. But beyond baked beans, tinned chickpeas go into curries and hummus. Kidney beans go into chili and rice. Lentils go into soups and stews. These are the foods that stretch a meal and fill a stomach without stretching a budget. And dried lentils and dried beans are even cheaper, with even longer shelf lives if you are happy to soak and cook them. Stock both. 6. Cooking oil. This is one of those items people never think about until they reach for the bottle and it is empty. And cooking oil is one of the most volatile food commodities in the UK because it is heavily linked to global supply chains. Sunflower oil from Ukraine, palm oil from Southeast Asia, rapeseed from European harvests. Any disruption anywhere in that chain and cooking oil prices move fast. We saw it happen already. Prices doubled in some cases and certain types disappeared from shelves entirely. Keep an extra bottle or two in the cupboard. Vegetable oil, rapeseed, whatever you normally use. It lasts well sealed, and it is essential for almost every style of cooking. Without it, your kitchen is basically crippled. 7. Salt. The most overlooked item on this entire list. Salt costs almost nothing, lasts essentially forever, and without it, food tastes miserable. But salt is not just flavor, it is preservation. It is a core ingredient in brining, curing, and making food last longer. A box of table salt and a bag of cooking salt should be in every prepared household in Britain, and they cost less than a quid combined. There is no excuse not to have this sorted. 8. Honey. Honey is nature's cheat code for a recession pantry. It never expires. Literally never. Archaeologists have found edible honey in Egyptian tombs. It is a sweetener, a spread, a baking ingredient, a sore throat soother, and an energy source. And when sugar prices spike or availability wobbles, honey sits in your cupboard completely unbothered. Buy a decent jar, use it in porridge, in tea, in baking, on toast. And when the cheap stuff runs out at the supermarket during a rough patch, you have still got something sweet on the shelf that will outlast everything else in your kitchen. 9. Peanut butter. Calorie-dense, protein-rich, long shelf life, loved by kids, needs no cooking, needs no refrigeration until opened, and incredibly versatile. Peanut butter on toast is a complete meal in a pinch. It goes in smoothies, in sauces, in baking, on rice cakes, straight off the spoon when nobody is watching. And a jar of peanut butter right now costs a couple of quid and gives you thousands of calories of genuine nutrition. In a cost crunch or a disruption, this is one of the most efficient foods you can have in the house. 10. UHT milk and powdered milk. Fresh milk is one of the first things to get awkward in a disruption because it depends entirely on constant refrigeration and constant delivery. UHT milk solves that. Unopened, it lasts months at room temperature. Powdered milk lasts even longer. Neither taste exactly like fresh milk, but in tea, in coffee, in porridge, in baking, in cooking, you will barely notice the difference. And when fresh milk becomes patchy or expensive, having a few cartons of UHT tucked away means your household does not even flinch. Your kids still have cereal, your tea still tastes right, your baking still works. That is what preparation actually feels like. Not drama, just continuity. 11. Stock cubes and dried herbs. Cheap food does not have to taste cheap. And this is where a lot of people go wrong with budget cooking and food storage. They buy the staples but forget the flavor. A few boxes of chicken, beef, and vegetable stock cubes, plus a basic rack of dried herbs and spices, oregano, paprika, cumin, mixed herbs, garlic powder, chili flakes, transforms boring survival food into meals your family will actually enjoy eating. Stock cubes last for ages. Dried herbs last for ages. They cost almost nothing. And they are the difference between a household that eats miserably during a rough patch and a household that eats well on a budget. Never underestimate the power of making cheap food taste good. It is a survival skill in itself. 12. Tinned fish. Tuna, sardines, mackerel, all of them. Protein, healthy fats, long shelf life, no cooking needed if necessary, and far more nutritious than most people give them credit for. Tinned fish is one of the most nutrient-dense recession foods available in any UK supermarket, and it costs £1 or £2 per tin. Tuna goes in pasta and sandwiches and jacket potatoes, sardines go on toast, mackerel goes in rice bowls, And in a disruption where fresh protein becomes expensive or patchy, your tinned fish stash quietly becomes one of the most valuable things in your cupboard. Buy a few extra tins every week. It adds up fast without hurting your budget. 13. Flour. The moment people cannot get cheap bread or baked goods, they reach for flour. We saw it during the pandemic. Flour vanished from shelves almost overnight because suddenly everyone decided to bake at the same time. And it will happen again the next time pressure builds. A bag of plain flour and a bag of self-raising flour give you bread, pancakes, flatbreads, scones, pastry, dumplings, thickened sauces, and a dozen other options. Stored cool and dry and sealed properly, flour lasts well beyond its best before date. Keep an extra bag of each. And if you do not already know how to make a basic bread or a simple flatbread, learn now. It is one of the most useful kitchen skills you can have when budgets tighten. 14. Tea and coffee. I almost did not put this on the list because it seems so obvious, but then I thought about it properly and realized it might be one of the most important items on here. Not for nutrition, for morale. Because when life gets harder and more expensive and more stressful, the small rituals that make your day feel normal become enormously valuable. A cup of tea in the morning, a coffee after a rough afternoon. These are not luxuries. They are the tiny anchors that keep people feeling human when everything else feels like it is sliding. And both tea and coffee are directly exposed to global supply chain pricing. When shipping costs climb, when harvests wobble, when currency shifts, your tea and coffee prices shift with them. Keep an extra box of tea bags and an extra jar or bag of coffee in the cupboard. It costs you almost nothing now, and it protects something that matters more than most people admit: your household's sense of normal. 15. Vinegar. This is the dark horse of the entire list, and most people will scroll past it. Do not. White vinegar and apple cider vinegar are two of the most useful items a UK household can have in quantity. Vinegar is a preservative. It is a cleaning product. It is a cooking ingredient. It is a descaler. It goes into pickling, into dressings, into sauces, into chutneys. It lasts essentially forever. It costs almost nothing, and it gives you options that most people do not think about until they need them. In a prolonged cost crunch, being able to pickle vegetables, make your own dressings, and clean your house with something that costs 60 pence a bottle is a genuine advantage. Buy an extra bottle or two, tuck them away, you will use them. So there is your list: 15 foods, all available today, all affordable today, all useful today, and all proven to spike in price or thin out on shelves the moment pressure builds. Rice, pasta, oats, tinned tomatoes, tinned beans and pulses, cooking oil, salt, honey, peanut butter, UHT and powdered milk, stock cubes and dried herbs, tinned fish, flour, tea and coffee, and vinegar. And here's what I want you to understand about this list, because this is the part most people miss entirely. You are not buying these things because the world is ending. You are buying them because the world is getting more expensive. And the difference between a household that handles that well and a household that gets squeezed by it is almost never income. It is timing. The households that do best in tough patches are not the richest. They are the ones that bought the boring stuff early, at normal prices, without drama, without panic, without waiting for permission from a headline to take their own household seriously. If nothing gets worse, you have spent a few extra quid on food you were going to eat anyway. If things do get worse, you have a cushion. You have breathing room. You have meals on the shelf that you bought at last month's prices, while everyone else is paying next month's prices and wishing they had thought about this sooner. That is not hoarding. That is just being smart with your money and your family's comfort. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and comment below which of these 15 you are picking up first. And if you want my full recommended kit list with the exact items and brands I use, it is linked in the description. Go through it calmly, pick off what makes sense for your household, and build your buffer properly. No rush, no drama, just quiet, boring, adult preparation at today's prices. And if you want to know what happens to food supply in the UK when fuel prices spike and shipping gets disrupted, click the video on screen now. That one connects directly to what we talked about today. Click it, and I will see you over there.